Good morning for absolutely the first time today. 100%, we haven't been live already at all. Sky's internet is perfect and I love it so much. It's great. Nice. Welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads for the second time. This morning, my name is Graham Day. I'm joined by the man that we call Bibby. We are Ice Cream Uploads, and in true ice creamy fashion, this is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, even if we do say so ourselves. I'm sorry if I'm flying through the intro, but some people in the chat have seen this already today. So apologies if you're watching on YouTube. But anyway, we do go live on Twitch each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.-ish. It's now 11:28, so there's a little bit of an ish today. Anyway, we do go live to bring you the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories in the world of video games. And if you're in the chat, please feel free to get involved as we go through those. We'll give you our thoughts and impressions. We want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions because we turn this live stream into a podcast, a video that goes on YouTube, and an audio podcast that goes on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud and Google Play. So if you're in the chat, please feel free to get involved on behalf of all those beautiful people that watch and listen on demand a little bit later on, and I'm not going to stop for a breath. There we go. Before we jump into the chat, let me just remind you to press ! loot drop. I say press and then type. Yes, nice. ! loot drop in the chat if you are in the chat. That way it'll get you a little bit of a reminder of how subscribers get entered into a giveaway each and every single month. That's a way that we give back to our subscribers for their support. And as well as that, ! loot drop. No, we've done that one. Insert coin. That's the one. That's what I'm wearing. Nice. Beautiful hood. You like it. It's good. It's good. Anyway, we were talking about the weekend before the internet shit itself. So, basically, I was halfway through a story talking about how myself and Bibby went to an advanced opening for NQ64. So if anyone's been to Manchester, I think there's one in Birmingham and Liverpool as well. NQ64 is basically a retro games club. So you go in and they've got like arcade cabinets, old school consoles that you can play games. And me and Bib decided to play some NBA Jam. We had like 5 games. Bibby schooled me for about 80% of it. In terms of results wise, there were close games, good games, but the very last game, I thought, okay, well, do you know what? I've got bragging rights. I've just scored with 2 seconds left on the clock. 3-pointer to put me 2 points ahead. Bacon Gin. Stay frosty, yeah. Thank you very much for the 7 months, you beautiful man. But yeah, as I was saying, I got a 3-pointer right at the end, 2 seconds left on the clock, and I turned to Bibby and went, 2 seconds left, thinking there's no way he can get down the other end of the court, put the ball in the net. It's impossible. So anyway, Bibby just fucking just hit and hope, flew the ball. It was full on fucking Michael Jordan long arm. What's it called? Space Jam-esque.
Space Jam.
So yeah, Bibby from downtown just lobbed the ball. 3-pointer wins. I was like,
the ball went in the basket. It didn't even hit the floor before the buzzer the buzzer went off. I was like, it was probably the greatest victory of my life. It was definitely up there with taking out Samantha on WWF Know Your Role on the PS1 as Eddie Guerrero in a ladder match. It was definitely up there, but yeah, I've never had that last second feeling on NBA Jam before, and I played a lot of NBA Jam in the past, but that was something to admire. To
be fair, if I'd lost that game any other way, I'd have probably been a bit gutted. But for that one, the ball hadn't even got through the net, and I was already high-fiving. Bib was like, "No way!" Whoosh! GG's. But anyway, if you're in the chat, as mentioned, do let us know if you are here. Good morning, everyone. Let's see if I've caught everyone. Jenkins, good morning, sir. How the devil are you, Jenkins? How are the Govee light strips? I may have purchased 3 this 1 o'clock this morning. I was going to buy them a few weeks ago, so I've redone my setup. You might notice it's a little bit different. It's not finished yet because I've got spaces where I want my light strips to go, but a new Prime Day was coming, so I've been sat on them. But I finally got my 3 RGB IC light strips ordered. They will be arriving before 7 p.m. today, which is nice. That's nice. Let's go. Oh, you're doing an opening? I just spent all of my GP. I had 750,000 GP this morning. I wanted to get Pulse Goals. I didn't. So it's fine. Let's not talk about that again. Wes says hashtag standard stream start. I don't know what you mean. This is for everyone watching YouTube. This has only started once. It's perfect. It's great. Oh shit! I've tempted fate. The stream's going down again before the rest of the stream. No. Hannah says studying for a biology exam with a piping hot cup of tea while watching the stream. What could be better? Well, coffee, mate. Coffee, not coffee, mate, because that would be, just a tub of powder. What's the point in that, mate? But yes, I'm on my second cup of there we go, PUBG Stay in Frag Out mug. I'm on my second cup from a cafetiere. It was Father's Day yesterday, so we cracked out the cafetiere yesterday. So I was like, do you know what? I'm having one tomorrow as well. So 2 cups of coffee, absolutely wide. It's fine. I'm fine. You're fine. We're all fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yes. Bacon Chin Shaggers, good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for the 7-month, mate. Appreciate you. How the devil are you doing? Actually, do you know what? Before we start anything else, I don't know if it's going to work. Actually, let me quickly look into something.
I can, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's weird. Why can I hear you then?
You can hear me when I do this. There we go. It's just that I was trying to do something with voice mod, but it looks like it's not pushed there, even though there's audio there. Okay, test it now. There we go. I can hear it now.
Everybody else can't talk, and Bacon Chin computers both died.
No, Bibi was just listening. Okay, can you still hear me now? I'm assuming you can. Oh my god, echo. Okay, I'll leave it.
Yeah.
What I was going to do was I was going to use voice mod to butcher a happy birthday for Mr. Garlic Clark, but I'll have to leave it. Sorry, Gary. Do you know what I will do? I will go off and come back on and play some games afterwards, and I will sing happy birthday to you then. But at this point in time, no, we'll have to leave it alone because voice mod's just not playing ball this morning. Nice. You've muted yourself. No, I'd not muted myself. I'd switched to the mic and I was like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Tell me someone can you hear me? And no one was saying anything. I was like, okay, they can't hear me. There we go. How sounds PS5 wall mount with RGB IC strip behind it? What? So you're putting an RGB IC strip behind your PS5? Is that what you're doing? Because I don't have a wall mounted PS5, if you're asking me, or you're going to do that. I don't know what you mean. But yes, Mr. T says, happy Garlic Clark Day. Well, that's what I was trying to do, but fucking voice mod's just not having... But to be fair, my whole PC looks like it was going to shit itself this morning. Just before I went live, I said to Babe, I kind of feel like I should be restarting my PC because it just doesn't seem smooth. But yeah, it seems like that's the case. Anita was having sound problems too. She's not messing with the mics at all. Who's Anita? But good morning, Beta Keys, please. Beta Keys, please. How are you doing? Ad says echo, super awful echo, awful super echo twice over. Nice. Sounds like Vern's mic yesterday. Yeah. Well, I think mine is just an issue with startups. So voice mod has an issue when you restart your PC. You have to reset your sources and stuff, which I have done, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. That is the plan. RGB IC USB fed strip behind my PS5 wall mount arrives this week. Nice. Feel free to send me pictures. I do like to see people set up advancements. Speaking of which, actually, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this because there's too much stuff in the way. Yeah, there we go. I hadn't put my little lights on. Anyway, should we jump into some news? We've had plenty of distractions with stream restarts and me trying to sing happy birthday to Gary Clark, but it not working. But anyway, happy birthday. I think Mr. T's already typed, actually. Has anyone Garlic Clarked? Yes, we've had a Garlic Clark in the chat. That's fine. We can start now then. We can start. So if you haven't seen it, we have a few stories. Yeah, for sure. We have a few stories to go through today. First of all, EA Motive is working on a revival for an established IP. So something that you've previously played is getting a new game, but we don't know which. Or we might do if we jump into the article. But before we do that, let's tell you what else we'll be talking about. Rumored Kojima game, which we kind of half spoke about on Friday. Abandoned, that's the name of the game. it has some delays coming to the app. We'll tell you all about that shortly. And then we'll go on to say Jim Ryan says Sony wants more crossplay and insists its policies are consistent. If you don't know what that's about, we'll fill in the gaps. And then finally, Among Us devs feel they've had a little bit of burnout. Do you know what? My microphone feels exactly the same as you this morning. But, Bib, do you fancy a new EA game? But an old EA game that's made new?
I would love a new old EA game.
Nice. A new old EA game. Well, that's exactly what we've got, as George Foster at The Gamer says. Rumour, EA Motive is working on a revival for an established IP. Does it rhyme with red face? What could that be? What could that be? EA Motive is reportedly working on a revival of an established IP that will make fans happy, which has speculation rampant that it might be a new Dead Space. As reported by VGC, this rumour comes courtesy of GamesBeat reporter Jeff Grubb, who talked about recent gaming news and mysteries, as well as giving his final E3 thoughts. Within those thoughts, he discussed EA Play and said that the project from EA Motive that he'd previously reported on would allegedly be making an appearance there. Jeff Grubb previously said that EA Motive's game was a revival of an established IP and that it would make fans happy. Grubb also teased the game by saying, "We're going to see it if we're not dead first." Grubb's teasing here makes it pretty obvious that the franchise he's talking about is Dead Space, which makes sense considering it's one of EA's biggest dormant franchises that fans have been asking for a revival or remaster for. Revival seems to imply a brand new game rather than just a remaster of the original trilogy, although that's still a possibility to bring newcomers and fans in. In a recent interview blog post discussing Squadrons, Motive's general manager Patrick Klaus said, "We're also working on several unannounced projects. Innovation is tough, but it's also exciting and energizing. With our new mission, we're trying a lot of things and testing many ideas which you can't get attached to, as iteration and experimentation are healthy and the key to finding something great." EA Motive previously worked on Star Wars Squadrons and collaborated with DICE on Star Wars Battlefront 2. Although they've clearly got some experience with space, a Dead Space revival would be a bit of a departure from what they're known for, although that seems to be exactly the point, according to the statement from Patrick Klaus. That, and the rumour from Jeff Grubb, makes it seem like we might be seeing the return of Dead Space after all. Okay, babe. Simple question. Dead Space, yes or no?
Well, it's a very interesting article, this, for today, purely because I actually started playing Dead Space again yesterday afternoon. After all the Father's Day shenanigans had been over, came home, Samantha wanted to play House Flipper. I thought I'd start Dead Space again, and you forget how good. Well, I say you forget. You remember how good it was, and then you go back to play it, and again, it doesn't feel outdated or as clunky as you remember it, especially from games of that era. Like some of them you go back to and you're like, never playing this again. But started playing Dead Space 1 again last night, purely because it was on Games Pass as well. Didn't even have to put my disc in. And it worked perfectly well on the Xbox One. So yeah, it's a fantastic franchise. It's scary as shit. Very atmospheric, the kind of game that he wants. So if there was a reboot of it, absolutely. I mean, if it doesn't matter, I'd take a remaster of the first three, especially the first one. I'd take a remaster of that. If there's a new one on the cards, so be it. But yeah, I'm all in for a Dead Space game. I feel like it's been away for too long, especially with the. I mean, I wouldn't even class it as survival horror, because there's just far too much medikits and guns and weapons all being put about. For me personally, I'd put it in the same ilk as like a Resident Evil 4, where it's not quite survival horror, it's more like action horror. But that aside, it's a fantastic game. If you've never played it before, please go ahead and try and play it. Definitely worth your time. But yeah, absolutely, reboot that bad boy, remaster, or brand new one.
Jumping in the chat, I'd love a new Dead Space so much, says Gary, or a new Fight Night. Mr. T says, mate, if we get a new Dead Space, I'll scream like Ned Flanders. By the way, that's just how Asim communicates generally. Anyway, if you've ever met Asim in person, it's always the same thing. There's Asim, oh my god, like full-on high-pitched squeal that I can't even get to. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Iceman said, heard more calls for new Fight Night and skate games than for this. See, do you know what? I can't even say that I agree there. You might be right from my perspective, but you might not as well, in terms of I have heard plenty of people clamoring for Fight Night and plenty of people clamoring for Skate. Also, plenty of people clamoring for a new Dead Space. I think it kind of comes in fits and starts. I mean, whenever anyone mentions, as soon as we get an Anthony Joshua fight, the conversation about a Fight Night comes back. So I see that all the time. Skate pretty much every time there's an EA conference, because it kind of got put into meme territory, whereas Dead Space didn't really have those sort of cues. So it doesn't have a real world boxing tie-in to remind people that they want to play Dead Space. Just in the same way that Euros and the Champions League finals tend to increase sales of football games. People see it, people want to play it. So boxing leads to the calls for people wanting to play it, so you get a lot of Fight Night conversations. EA events and E3s and stuff lead to the meme shouts of "Give us a Skate." Even people that didn't even want a new Skate game or hadn't played an old Skate game wanted to mention the "Give us a new Skate" because it was a meme. Whereas Dead Space didn't really have that, but I still heard lots of shouts for it. So I think that kind of shows how loud it is, despite not having a seasonal reminder to that, okay, you need a new Dead Space game. People still remembered to shout for it. So I'd say there's still a lot of passion for it. And there's a lot of people that didn't play it as well that have since been kind of like made aware of what Dead Space is. And they're kind of like, yeah, okay, that is a game that I feel like I need to step into. Just like Dino Crisis. A lot of people that didn't play Dino Crisis would love the idea of playing a Dino Crisis game now. Because what you played back then, throw that into new technologies and new modern ways of producing and scaring the shit out of people, then I mean, that's why I really want a Dino Crisis. I don't mind scary games, but I feel like, I mean, I like scary games, not don't mind. I really do like scary games. I like something that's going to make me shit my pants. But I just kind of, we've had plenty of the zombie-ish stuff, which is why I really like The Last of Us, because it wasn't just zombie. It was zombie, but deep emotive story. So I was like, okay, that gives me a fresh spin. So give me something that's going to scare the shit out of me, but it's a fucking velociraptor hunting me down, or a tyrannosaurus or whatever. Yes, please. Give me something in space where it's a completely different sort of atmosphere than just roaming the streets and going through a building where there's zombies and stuff. Then that kind of speaks to me more as in, that is new, that is fresh. And it is less likely for me to be like kind of predicting what's going to be around the corner. I like that. I like the idea of crapping myself and not knowing where the next one is coming from. That speaks to me massively. So Dead Space, yes, please. I will take 3 of those. Instead of Purple Drapes, it'll be Dead Space. Mr. S.M. Flanders. Skate has already been announced, so it's not that. That is true. I've been playing Dead Space 2 on PC too. It's super slick still. I mean, did you guys have a little bit of a Dead Space-a-thon on the WhatsApps or something? Been playing Dead Space yesterday. Mr. T's been playing Dead Space 2. Honestly.
No. The power of Game Pass. You know what I mean? It's the power of Game Pass.
Dead Space 3 was a bit meh. Went to action and gung-ho. The other 2 are Stone Cold classics. It sounds like
Dino Crisis
and Resident Evil Village sounds a little bit like that. Oh, this is nope, just shitloads of ammo and a bit too much gung ho. Get rid of the gung ho and go for scaring the shit out of people. That's what we want. Yes, please. I mean, I will play through Dead Space if it is a new Dead Space game, but I absolutely will 100% make Bibby play it on stream for all of our viewing pleasure. By the way, in the studio, and I will make sure that I am in the studio at the same time as well.
Fuck you.
I'll go mad.
Go fucking mad.
Gary says, saying that as much as I'd love a new Fight Night, I can't see it happening as the team now works on the UFC franchise. Ad says it's not Dead Space. How do you know? I mean, it could be. I mean, I would like a new Fight Night, but the what is it? Is it Esports Boxing Club? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That looks like it could fill the Fight Night gap. Which I'm happy with. I mean, EA they had simple boxing mechanics nailed, but then added extremely good visuals to that. So there was, how can I put it? The world of boxing has moved on tons, just like football games have. Football games used to be just pass, shoot, move around, bit of swerve on the ball, that's it. But now you've got, like, obviously, football games are super complex, which is why a lot of people are never really happy with them anymore because there's so many metrics like inertia, velocity, acceleration, foot planting, and all of that jazz, net physics, that people now think about. And I feel like EA had a pretty game, but yeah, they need to put a lot of time into developing the physical side of a boxing game because they've not got all those years of history that they've been iterating like they have with the FIFA kind of thing. So something starting afresh like Esports Boxing Club, you kind of feel that they will have to nail it coming out of the bag. But then again, so would EA. But yeah, I am pretty excited by Esports Boxing Club. So I would, if I had to choose, we've got a boxing game on the pipeline. So yeah, give me a Dead Space. We've got Skate coming, so give me Dead Space. Yeah, what are you saying?
Well, the Esports Boxing Club seems to have signed every single legend that there's ever been in boxing. So I'm interested to see, one, how much money they have, two, whether or not it's actual bullshit. But then again, Future Gaming shown it, so it can't be that much of a bullshit game. That's never going to arrive.
Yeah.
Showing it at E3, so it's kind of like, ooh, okay, so they have got something. But how much money have they had to be able to sign all of these legends? Are the legends just that broke that then like they'll just take any money now? Because they've even managed to sign like Muhammad Ali. So I don't know who it is that looks after Muhammad Ali's, like, I don't want to say IP. It's not his IP, is it? Is it estate, shall we say?
Yeah.
And his likeness and things like that. Who's like looking after that to be able to take some money for it? But the amount of boxes that they have got going into that game, like, I just want to know how they've been able to finance it. Was it done on Kickstarter? Was it backed there? So like, if we end up raising £2 million, then we'll be able to go after these boxers. Or I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know where they're getting the money from. But yeah, it seems to have every single boxer that there has ever been being put into this video game. So I'm interested to see where it goes from that.
It's either got to be like a percentage sort of basis. You sign a contract with us and we will pay you on what we earn, a percentage of whatever. So they get maybe milestones, I guess. If we sell this much, you'll get this. If we sell this much, you'll get this. Which most boxers wouldn't sign up for that because they don't want to sign up on the potential of something. So then, yeah, that would either lead to something like a Kickstarter or a sugar daddy sort of like backer, that they've got someone with a chunk of money to put the money in and then they will take a chunk out after it kind of thing. But yeah, like Ad says, 200 plus boxers, only 120 announced so far. Incredible. Got investors from the boxing world and DAZN. Okay, key one, DAZN. Okay, well, there you go. That kind of, there's the sugar daddies, people that are looking to get a payday out of it. But if they get a big win on the first game, job's good and nice. We'll go from there. I genuinely hope it works very, very well. I mean, Gary says the trouble with boxing generally, it's a bit of a niche sport when it comes to gaming. It will sell well, but we'll never get FIFA or Madden sales numbers. And I think that is the key thing, is getting that understanding and balance. Boxing isn't an everyone sport anymore. It took over the world like 40, 50 years ago kind of thing, and has gradually dropped off. It does come back with peaks and troughs, and UK boxing over the last 10 years had a huge revival that sparked the rest of the world to have a bit more interest. But there's so many things for a casual fan to stay casual. There's multiple different brands. Boxers have to fight specific fights. Like we've seen it. Everyone wants Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury to fight, but Anthony Joshua's got to go off and fight whoever the feck it was. I can't remember anymore because he's got. Is it Tyson Fury has a fight with someone else?
Tyson Fury, that. But, yeah. He has to fight Wilder again.
That's the one, yeah. I mean, but like that sort of shit is the stuff that people just don't give a fuck about. Anthony Joshua has 72 titles and he has to fight each one within so much time frame. If not, he has to give it up. And it's just people are used to the simplified nature of WWE. Okay, I've got the titles. I can fight who I want. We have a number one contender, and that is who I fight. And that came from
maybe
boxing.
Twice a week.
Yeah, exactly. But waiting 3 months to get your next fight, and it's not the one that you want, so you have to wait 3 months after that, and the fight was okay. So then you have to wait 3 months after that for him to have his, what's the word I'm looking for? The fights that he has to have. There's a word that not recommended. Whatever he has to fight. We'll call it that. Whatever is. So the fights that he has to do, he has to have one of those. So you're waiting half a year until the next one, maybe 9 months, maybe a full year until the next one. So it's just that's the reason why you get the likes of the Eddie Hearns and stuff doing magic in the world of boxing, because they're the ones that make the stories and the Hey Bellew, the beef behind that, getting so severe and them all chatting shit off the mics like WWE levels and stuff. That's because you have to build the hype to bring people back into it again. So it's something mandatory. That's the word. Just put it in. There you go. Mandatory fights. That's it. Mandatory fights just makes everything just cack. And you understand that, like, there's multiple different boxing organizations. They want their fighters on their rosters to get their fights, because if not, it'll just be, say, if all the sexy sellable fighters are WBO fighters, then that's the only ones that would get fights. So they need to be WBC or fucking whatever it is. They all have to have their turn as well, which makes sense. It just becomes a bit complex and a bit cumbersome, and is hard to build a long-term narrative for casual fans, which is fine for hardcore boxing fans, but that's the reason why you've had things like YouTube boxing and things like that, is because it's just a bit more scripted, a bit more casual. That's the perfect word, casual. It's not purist boxing whatsoever. I mean, you could see it from when they start throwing punches. It's absolutely not purist boxums. And Gagad with the 10 months. What a guy. Good morning. How are you doing, sir? Thank you very much for the subs. That's 2. Yeah, we're on 2 already today. Woo, woo, woo. Appreciate it, Gagad. 10 whole months. That's a baby in a month. You love to see it. But yeah, that's it. I mean, YouTube boxing and all of that sort of stuff, just it's much shorter time frames, a little bit wilder, a little bit crazier. So boxing is wonderful, but it will never be a AAA tier sport again, as much as boxers would like to think so. Yeah, it's marketable, and people at the top can be AAA spectrum again. But as soon as you step down from the Joshuas, and so you go from celebrity to who? Who's that? Like, there was a guy, was it a Scottish guy? Did he have every single belt in his weight class or something like that? Like, I was reading it about a month ago, and it was like you didn't even hear about that. And that's such a shame, because you've got a guy who's doing something that is doing the unthinkable in the world of boxing, or the almost unthinkable. It's like one of 3 people. Colin, I'm gonna say yes, but I don't know. Maybe Nick Colin. So yeah, doing bits in the world of boxing, but people don't care because it drops off, which is a shame. Or Josh Colin. I don't know. It could be Nick Josh. Yeah, Colin. My colon. Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Anyway, big old tangent. ESBC looks good. The Esports Boxing Club does look good. So we'll play with that. So we don't need Fight Night. Cheers, EA. Thanks very much. We've got Skate coming, so EA's got that boxed off. So surely it has to be Dead Space, right? I don't know. We will let you know anyway when that updates. But EA Motive are reviving an established IP. That's been confirmed with a pinch of salt, naturally. So we'll keep our eyes on that for more content coming over the next month or so. Just a reminder, EA Play does happen. Is it July? It is July. It's not end of June, right? I'm gonna stick with July. So yeah, if it happens in July, which I think it does, then we will keep you updated. No doubt we will find out more then. But for now, let's jump into the next bit of news, which is this is the bit that I kind of spoke about earlier. The title was quite hard for me to give you the rundown, but we did touch on this last week. There is a new game called Abandoned. I did post the link into the Discord, into the Scoop section, but because it wasn't a news article, it was a Reddit post pulling together a shitload of rumours and news. We didn't really talk about it on the Scoop. We covered it at the end of the show, briefly, verbally, but not going through the article. And the gist of it is, there is a game called Abandoned, and lots of people are piecing together what could be snippets or clues that point to this being a Hideo Kojima scary game. However, that might all be bullshit. Nobody really knows just yet. But anyway, that's kind of the context. This is the article that we have jumping into that. Eric Switzer at The Gamer says, rumoured Kojima game Abandoned delays PlayStation app by 3 days. We'll have to wait a few more days to find out if Blue Box Game Studios' upcoming PlayStation exclusive Abandoned really is a secret Kojima game. So jumping into the article now, it says, we'll have to wait a few more days to find out if Blue Box Game Studios' upcoming PlayStation Abandoned really is a secret Kojima marketing stunt. Blue Box announced today on Twitter that the Abandoned Trailer app, a new application designed to share trailers for the upcoming game, will be launching on PlayStation 5 this Friday, June the 25th. The app was originally scheduled to launch this coming Tuesday, but had to be delayed 3 days due to localization issues. Abandoned is the working title of Blue Box Game Studios' upcoming PS5 exclusive. Abandoned was revealed in early April in a post on the official PlayStation blog by Hassan Karaman, game director at Blue Box. At the time, some people found it strange that the game was getting an announcement on the official PlayStation blog, yet the teaser was made using an asset pack from the Unreal Marketplace. Some started to suspect that Blue Box and Abandoned might be a marketing stunt for Hideo Kojima's next game, based on the fact that both Metal Gear Solid 5 and PT were teased using fake studio names. Last week, Blue Box tweeted that the real-life title of the game starts with the letter S and ends with the letter L, which many took to mean that Abandoned is actually a new Silent Hill game. This kickstarted a massive online conspiracy theory that Abandoned is actually Kojima's abandoned Silent Hill game. Since then, game detectives have uncovered dozens of connections between Blue Box and Kojima, as well as hints that would seem to suggest that Abandoned is a ruse and Blue Box isn't real. Blue Box has confirmed that Abandoned is not a Silent Hill game and that the studio has no relation to Kojima, but it hasn't stopped the theories from pouring in. Those eager for an answer were looking forward to seeing more about the game this Tuesday when the app launched on PS5. Another curiosity, as game trailers typically don't have their own PlayStation app. But now they'll have to wait an additional 3 days to find out the truth about Abandoned. Do you know what? I've just seen the words rabbit hole in chat from Gary. That is absolutely the best description of this.
I'm here for it.
I would jump into this article. We're talking about rabbit holes. This article, I'm going to put the link into the chat for an article that links off of the one we just read. Let me get the link. It's a long read, so I will not put this, not cover this one on the show. But that is basically the sort of stuff that was in the Reddit post that I shared the other day. And it's talking about the breadcrumbs of people linking stuff together. So Blue Box, is that a reference of PlayStation's cases? Is it a PlayStation exclusive game signed by PlayStation? Is that where Blue Box means? The game begins with S and ends in L. Is that Silent Hill? There was something about like Hassan Karaman. There was some sort of translation. I can't remember if it was Hassan is a translation of Hideo or something like that. Hassan Karaman and Hideo Kojima both begin with H and K. There was all sorts of stuff within. Like I told you, this is a long old article. But yeah, feel free to go jumping into the rabbit hole. Pick up all of the breadcrumbs if you want. It's actually quite compelling when you put it all together.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you do put it all together, babe, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I like you said, that it's all a massive conspiracy theory, and I'm here all day for it. I love the lengths that people will go to. They will research this. Like they could become super detectives to try and look at every single potential breadcrumb to get to a point. It's like, you know, that meme. Is it called Jason Day? He's like this on the wall.
Yeah. All
the lines go into it and all the paper and stuff like that. That's what I imagine most people have been like with stuff like this. And I'm here for it. Like I love this kind of stuff. Like these people are way smarter than I ever will be. So they're trying to piece together stuff that it might be hidden in plain sight, and I would just have absolutely no idea that it's staring me right in the face. So I love the fact that people have gone to lengths like this. Again, all roads for the last, I don't know, 2 years maybe, since we first started reading news articles of Hideo Kojima watching horror films that are making him shit himself because he's always wanted to make one, but he's always too scared to be able to get something over the line. Obviously, we had PT, and it was potentially one of the worst yet best experiences of my life because it was so terrifying and so well made. That's inspired many games after it, including Resident Evil. Yeah, I'm here for it. I just can't wait to see what this actually. I mean, this could be just the worst indie game you've ever seen in your life at the end of it, or it could be something that is going to make history. but we have absolutely no idea what path is going to go down yet. So again, I am here all day to be able to hear stuff like this until we get something official.
I mean, I agree. It's a lot of potential here. I mean, it could be. We genuinely don't know if this is or isn't anything to do Kojima wise or whatever. It could be. Absolutely could be. But it could just be internet sleuths, like doing internet sleuthy things, which if it isn't a Kojima game, I'm still here for this sort of stuff. I love to see people full on investigator it, finding that 2 + 2 = 4, but not realizing that it says 2 + 2 = 4,456, which is a long way away from 4. But they see the 4 and go, "That's it. That's what it is. That's the answer." It's like, you stop too soon. Slow down there. Whoa, Nissa, kind of thing. Yeah, and it's Charlie Day, by the way. Uncle Charlie. That's is my uncle. He's not really my uncle, but if he is, then he's probably rich, so he could be. Nice.
Charlie Day. What did I say? Jason Day.
Yeah, Jason Day.
Charlie Day. That's it. Yeah. Feel a bit of a dick now.
Asim says, if it's true, more likely it's Kojima related than Konami. Tito says people are going to be really disappointed when it ends up being Seagull Simulator, the game.
More chance of being that.
Yeah, potentially. Good morning, Tito, by the way, or good afternoon now. Actually, Gary Clark says it's like the image Konami showed off about the Silent Hill merch that is coming. People said that the image is off center, and if you look, you can fit an S at the end of Hill.
You know what I mean? I am here all day for this kind of stuff. Like, these people are way smarter than I am, or they're not, and they're just a little bit thicker, so they're just trying to piece everything that is together. But either way, super here for it.
Yeah, I mean, I am here for that level of what's the word? I just said detail appreciation. You might not be appreciating the detail. You might be seeing details that aren't there, but we'll just call it detail appreciation because that is hardcore. And hardcore can be a little bit like to phrase a very educational piece of content, pitch perfect. I know, very educational. I know, just bear with me. But there's a bit in there where, if you haven't seen it, by the way, exceptional film. Definitely go watch Pitch Perfect. But there's a bit in there where a guy called Benji he does a magic trick to one of the main characters called Bumper, and he goes, "The smell of your weird is affecting my vocal cords," and that's kind of it. I mean, that magic trick was wonderful, and you either appreciate it, if not, smells a bit weird, and that's kind of what this sort of stuff is. You either appreciate the level of like investigative crunching that people have done, or it's a bit weird. But genius and insanity are just a couple of steps away from each other. And that's the thing, I mean, a lot of the most wonderful things that have been made on the internet by community members probably are viewed as a little bit odd, a little bit insane, a little bit too far by a lot of people. But then again, some of the most creative stuff has come from that same creative process. So whether it turns out to be anything Kojima-ish or not, I mean, it, like I said, if it turns out to be fucking Seagull Simulator, yeah, just it's begins with an S, ends in L. It's just Seagull the Simulator. That's the tagline. That's what it is. That would be incredible. I wish people would put this much energy into stop being dicks online. Touche, Mr. Clark. People will see what they want, so only time will tell. I mean, that's the thing, though. What if they're seeing the right things? What if this is a Kojima game?
We're just disregarding it as fucking weirdos.
I mean, we are and we aren't. I mean, I'm not disregarding it. I think the amount of information there is compelling. It genuinely is. And 100%, I do not know whether it is or isn't. We do work with Konami and bits, and naturally, we don't know all of the information. So it's very possible that it could go either way. We do not know. But you have to feel that a lot of that information there, if you go through it, actually, if anyone has access to our Discord, if you can go into the scoop section, there is a link to a Jason Schreier tweet that I shared last week. I would grab it, but it'd take Bibby off the screen, so I'm not going to do that. But if anyone wants to put that into... Nice. If anyone wants to put that into the chat, then that is the rabbit hole for you to go looking down. And when you go through it, yes, a lot of it is kind of like, the first bit you're like, okay, well, that's just a little bit clutching at straws. But then after like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 clutches at straws, you're like, oh, could be something there. I mean, like I say, it's not necessarily anything, but it's whether it is or isn't, the level of detail and
something.
The Charlie Day meme, as Bibby said, full on like wired lines across the maps and stuff on the wall. It is a creative thing. So even if it turns out to not be anything, you got to appreciate the creativity that's gone into that. But anyway, we will keep you updated. This Friday, the trailer app is supposedly coming out, so we will keep you up to date with whatever happens with that. But for now, sticking with Sony, we'll jump into the next bit of news. As Jim Ryan...
Imagine if it dropped during the scoop.
Oh, yeah.
And we got to watch it live. That'll be quality, that, won't it?
Live trailer watch-along.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, Bibby's door swings open and Hideo just comes strolling in like, ta-da! Oh, we knew all along. We knew all along. But yeah, next bit of news. Jim Ryan says Sony wants more crossplay and insists its policies are consistent. The number of supported games will continue to grow, claims PlayStation CEO. This is written by Andy Robertson at VGC. PlayStation boss Jim Ryan has said that Sony wants cross-platform multiplayer in more games and insisted that its policies on the issue are consistent with other companies. Ryan told Axios in a new interview that we support and encourage crossplay for a fee. It doesn't say that, by the way. I added that bit in. Noting that the feature works on numerous big games such as Fortnite, because you were forced to buy Nintendo and Xbox, Rocket League, Call of Duty, and Minecraft. That number will continue to grow, he said. Sony was notoriously hesitant to support online multiplayer with other game platforms, and it was the last platform holder to support the feature in September 2018. Last month, Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney claimed in court that Sony is also the only platform holder that charges for crossplay, and shared a document showing that it demands royalties if the proportion of revenue made through in-game purchases is less than 85% of PlayStation users. The move is reportedly designed to avoid players buying in-game items on other platform stores, then primarily using them on PlayStation. Sony appears to still be experiencing issues with its cross-play policies. Last month, Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford tweeted that a long-awaited cross-play update for Borderlands 3 would not be coming to PlayStation platforms. And in a somewhat vaguely worded tweet, Pitchford claimed that the studio had been, quote, required to move cross-play support for PS4 and PS5. Asked to clarify the situation, Take-Two did not specify the reason behind the issue. Asked to comment, Jim Ryan reportedly told Axios he didn't want to talk about a live business issue with a long-standing partner, but noted our policies are consistent across all of the publishers. Okay. What? Does that say anything? So Sony wants more crossplay, insists that its policies are consistent, gives no evidence of consistency. Bib, thoughts?
I'm about to throw it straight back to you, Graham, because I honestly think this article is straight out the playbook of a PR statement to try and make them sound a lot better than what they're actually providing to people. But do you think this is a PR statement to try and please the rest of the world?
Probably not even that. I think it's probably in that area. I wouldn't say it's a PR statement to please. I'd say it's a PR statement to ignore or to sidestep. Sony,
we are definitely looking into doing crossplay, wink, wink, when we feel like it or it makes us enough money. That's essentially what I'm reading from it.
I'm just adding the discussing that, but I think that's it. I think that's it. Jim Ryan can't say anything here because he's been caught off guard. Doesn't have a prepped answer, so says I wouldn't really want to talk about something that's ongoing at the moment. That's a non-answer. That's everything. Yeah, everything's consistent. That doesn't mean anything. That does not. Our policies are consistent. Yeah, great. Consistent at not being great. Nice. You consistently charge everyone across the board, whereas nobody else does. So Jim Ryan is trying to say that they want more crossplay, which is the right PR answer. He's trying to say that they're doing everything consistently and good for everyone, which is a PR answer, but he's also not saying anything at all. The number of supported games will continue to grow, naturally, because developers are making their games to be crossplay. You, at Sony, are not helping with that process, though. You are actively hindering by charging and taking out of developers' pockets to fund yourself for that. So yeah, I mean, this is my single biggest bugbear with Sony right now. They do a lot of stuff that I enjoy. They do a lot of games, a lot of content. They have a lot of platforms and so on that speak to me as a gamer, just like Xbox has as well. But Sony's cross-platform and what's the word I'm looking for? Their lack of cooperation, which I feel is purely led by a strive to push for profitability, is exactly that. It's a profits push rather than a consumer-led activity. It's a business focus, which is fine. They're all businesses. But there is no reason for them to not be able to have crossplay built into their platform at the expense of success. If they've got the good content and the good systems, they will be successful. They're out in first place. But rather than being a business that continues to be successful, they're a business that's trying to remain successful whilst not allowing others to thrive as much. Rather than focusing on ourselves, we'll just stop playing with others. Nah, that's shit. So yeah, crossplay is growing because it has to. Because you got made to make it play, but you did that whilst putting your hand out and asking for a big wedge of cash where no one else did. So yeah, they want more crossplay and they insist their policies are consistent. Yeah, they are consistent because you're ripping everybody off at the same time. We rip everyone off equally. Great, that's good news. Nice. Better hope the reveal isn't 10 a.m.ish then. Shut up. No comment. Oh, the truth hurts.
Why do people do this to us, Graham?
They just rejected crossplay on a new game. For fuck's sake. They did, and that's kind of the thing. When asked about it was the Gearbox stuff. So Sony appears to be having issues with crossplay and the Gearbox content. He didn't have an answer prepped for that, which is actually quite naive. The fact that they didn't have an answer prepped, other than live business issue with a long-standing partner. That's what he called it. It's a live business issue with a long-standing partner, and he didn't want to talk about that. That's it's as if you didn't have an answer prepped for that. Our policies are consistent across all of the publishers. Yeah, but if something as big as Gearbox is having issues, then yeah, if it's fine with every other platform out there, but not on PlayStation, that's not a Gearbox issue. That's a PlayStation issue. Take-Two have done what they've needed to get it working everywhere else. PlayStation are the issue there. So yeah, Jim Ryan, you are consistent, but consistently wrong, if that is the case. So something needs to change there. Karina, thank you very much for the follow. Good morning. What are you chuckling at?
No, just that you are consistently wrong. I've just seen Ads' comment as well about Nintendo. Even Nintendo, the most Scrooge video games company in the world, allows crossplay. Like it's fucking baffling for the players. Only if we let you.
I mean, the thing is, well, Nintendo have friend codes, which is the most baffling and complex system in the world, and can do crossplay. What the fuck? Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. If PlayStation aren't letting that happen, PlayStation can do anything. And if it's not happening, then there's a reason for that. And that reason usually is cha-ching. It's all about the money. Where are you guys from? We are from, well, there you go. Tito just said Manchester, UK. Where are you from? Welcome into the stream, by the way. Thank you very much for dropping the follow. Actually, on that note, let me quickly have a look. Do you know, we are on 2,499 followers. We need one more follow to get to 2,500. So, the milestone.
Isn't that when a giveaway triggers?
No, we had a giveaway the other week celebrating this, although it was a little bit premature. We just wanted to. What did we give away? We gave away something. Yes, we did. Can't remember.
What did we give away?
I can't remember. I
can't remember yesterday.
we give so much away in this channel, I don't even remember. But yeah, we gave stuff away. I'm from Norway. Well, welcome in from Norway. How are you doing? Exclamation mark coin up. It was insert coin. That was it. It was the insert coin giveaway. We gave away a 50 quid voucher. That's what it was. So yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
Well done. At least fucking one of our mods turns up. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking at the rest of you guys.
I mean, West isn't even a mod. It's just a G.
Oh, is it West?
Yeah. So
it's Tito.
No, just West. No. He knows. Cheers, West.
Oh, well. Props. Well done, West.
All I know is I've got my copy of D&D Dark Alliance installed, ready for launch day. Didn't have to buy it. Xbox Master Race. Sorry, I'll try better, says Tito. It's all right. You got the Xbox in. You've won Bibby back over. I mean, he was just about to slap you down, but you mentioned Xbox and you got the fist pump instead, so it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one final story left for today's scoop, so we'll jump into that one. I did mention it, obviously, in the summary before we jumped in, but Among Us devs admit that they felt burnout and overwhelmed following the indie game's success. It's a lot of pressure. It's overwhelming, says the tagline. This is written by Vikki Blake at Eurogame. The article says, the team behind Among Us Inner Sloth has opened up about feeling overwhelmed and burnt out after the success of their cult classic multiplayer detective game during lockdown. Among Us going viral, it was just like, okay, this is my life, said artist Amy Lou. The pressure to get things done quickly was really high. September to December, we're talking to Xbox, PlayStation. They were going to try get Among Us on these platforms, which usually takes many months, like half a year to a year. We were like, 3 months. We're going to try that. I definitely burnt out, Lou told Anthony Padilla, thanks Kotaku. It was tough because during all of this, we weren't able to see friends and family. Being so tired from working, I couldn't even go visit my family during COVID and had to spend holidays alone. That was definitely the hardest time. When you're under hundreds of millions of people's worth of pressure, they don't understand that it takes months. The server issue should be fixed tomorrow. Adding new stuff should be next week. It's so easy to them. It's a lot of pressure. It's overwhelming, added programmer Forrest Willard. There was a while at the beginning of the year when a lot of the negative comments were really starting to get to me, and combined with the overwhelmed feelings, I was just like, I don't even want to work on this anymore. I'm done, admitted game designer Marcus Bromander. For the full interview, head to Padilla's YouTube channel. Inner Sloth recently added 15-player support to Among Us, up from the prior limit of 10, as well as new colours, mobile controller support, and a slight graphics update. A new mode called Hide and Seek is also on the way to Among Us, and it seems like seekers will be given a very small radius in which they can see other players, leaving it up to those hiding to outmaneuver their pursuers. And that's not the only major gameplay change. After modders start doing it themselves, some new roles are officially being added to the mix, including sheriff and scientist roles. So, whether you played it or not, whether you liked it or not, or whether you're not interested in it anymore or not, Among Us was massive. For a lot of people, the biggest game during lockdown. Obviously, there was a few that you can throw into the mix there. Some old games that came back, some new games that came out of nowhere, the likes of Fall Guys and so on, or a game that kind of lasted on the periphery, almost... inconspicuous for about 12 months-ish before it finally got some traction on Twitch and then exploded like Among Us. Obviously, the dangers of that happening is when I think Inner Sloth was like a 3-person team. I could be wrong. I've only ever seen 3 of them, though. But having something so huge and so successful and then being put out in front of the world and the world's demands can be absolutely, as they put, overwhelming. A lot of pressure. What are your thoughts on this, babe? Is this just the games industry in general demanding too much yesterday? Should devs have to put up with this? What are your thoughts?
I don't know, because I don't know how this game was out for a long time before it started to make a massive boom, didn't it? Because I don't want to use the word influencers, but a few high-profile streamers was playing this game, and then people was like, "That looks fucking mint. Let me get on that." And then the platforms went boop 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 boop. It just started escalating, and they had to get more servers to house the amount of people that was playing it. It was coming out for console, including like the Nintendo Switch and that. So. Yeah, I imagine this game took off way beyond their expectations, especially because they may have even had to staff up. If this game had been out for so long beforehand and they was on a limited staff, they would need more staff to accommodate like community managers and senior projects managers to think of new expansions that could potentially have the people who are working on the game will have to get a bigger team. And yeah, I can imagine this becoming very overwhelming very quickly, purely based on how many people are going to be playing it. There is more people on social media asking for more stuff, more content. All of this stuff doesn't work. We need this stuff to work. We need gameplay bugs and fixes. We need all of this stuff. For a very small game, I imagine that is overwhelming. And it was along the same lines as Fall Guys. It's just that the social media team over there were very, very good at being reactive in terms of if anything was bad, they spun it in a very good way and had very positive messages, which then meant that the community embraced those positive messages and became a very nice community to be in. Very good, difficult job that they've done very, very well. So it doesn't surprise me that they are overwhelmed. I think it was probably going to be one of those things that are always in the pipeline for a very small game that gets very, very popular. Are we starting to see the decline of this now? Very much like we'd started to do with Fall Guys. It's not often that I see many people playing it now. That's just in my own we'll call it an echo chamber for the sake of this. I don't see many people who I follow on Twitch playing this game that often. So has the bubble burst? Are we waiting for a new one to come out? Because I know that they're bringing this to PlayStation soon, if it's not already out, and to Xbox as well. So I don't know. They did very well to ride the wave for as long as they potentially could have done, especially for a game that's made them very, very wealthy in a very short amount of time. Did everything right. And if they are burnt out now, then you've put up a very good fight for the last 12 months. And GG's.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so I find this a little bit of a shame to read, because it's kind of a picture for the industry in general. So the Among Us devs, Inner Sloth, super small team, made a mobile game that did reasonably well. They were then working hard on making a second mobile game to replace the first one, or to supersede the first one, should I say, not replace. So people will get more functions, better graphics, different levels, and so on. And then in the middle of that, it all blew up. So something that they were kind of happy with, something that was maybe making a profit. I don't know how that was working for them, but it wasn't something that they had long-term plans for. And then the world changed for them. This became absolutely huge. Obviously, it went from being just an indie PC title to being everywhere. I think it maybe was on mobile at that point in time too, and then being everywhere. Obviously, looking at first-party stuff, they were saying having to get ports to for the PlayStation and Xbox done, and full-on. Well, not the word verified. We'll use the word verified, but go through all the checks to get onto PlayStation, Xbox, and so on in a short space of time. You love to kind of see that level of success, but it's amazing how quick the internet is to build people up and then break them down, tear them down when they aren't doing what they want. Oh, I've got a great gameplay experience. Yeah, we've got a nice way to spend lockdown with my friends. I can hear their voices. Literally, the game is my friend and how they act. That is the game. I mean, yes, yeah, I can go and I can put some wires back together on this spaceship or whatever, and I can swipe a credit card. Jobs are good and nice, but it's all about how I interact with my friend, or how my friend interacts with me, which is amazing. The game makes me the game. Wonderful. But I've done this now. I want a new level, or I want new missions. I want other things to change the way that I'm interacting with my friends, and you're not making it as quick as I want you to. And it's that level of entitlement that I do feel for devs at that point, because devs have time frames, and yeah, I mean, not even fair enough. You understand a little bit more when devs have massive resources and so on, that people can complain at them. So people will happily complain at an EA or an Activision because they are huge. They earn bajillions of pounds and they have massive teams. Not that it's any more excusable, but you obviously there's a bit more logic to that. They've got more teams, they've got more resources, they should be able to deliver more on time, all of the content when desired, kind of thing. Whereas Innersloth didn't have any of that, but they were put into the same categories as the conversations that you'd expect people to be having conversations about EA. When you've got Tim the Tatman and Shroud and Ninja and PewDiePie, plus Nadeshot, I think it was, all in one game of Among Us, then you know your game has won. That's it. All those people in the same game on stream, ridiculous. I think Pokemon was in there as well. So huge game. But that level of exposure comes with a lot of risk, and that risk is obviously you're not in your nice communal bubble anymore. You are exposed to the masses, and the masses aren't necessarily nice people. So sadly it comes with a cost, that level of success, and that cost can be your physical, your emotional, mental well-being that would lead to your physical well-being. And it is a shame to see Among Us devs Inner Sloth, which, like I say, is just I remember seeing them on, I don't know if it was the Game Awards. There was 3 of them sat in a tiny room, and they just looked like your average people. I mean, that's what developers are. They are people. But they just, like you expect, they've made the most creative game in the world for the last 12 months. They're going to be huge, like, resources left, right, and centre. And it's just 3 people that enjoy video games that have just been attacked because the game that they make that people enjoyed, they want to enjoy it. It's like, well, that's a good thing, but they want to enjoy it. and they can't enjoy it how they want, so they turn nasty. And it is a shame that not just video games. It's not the games industry. I said the games industry in general. I mean the internet in general. It's a shit that people are like that, and it's a shit thing that the Inner Sloth devs have had to put up with that. But you know what? Hopefully they've made an absolute mint, so they can just go, do you know what? Fuck you. take your new levels, stick them up your ass. You're not fucking having them. We've made billions off you now. Fuck you. You want to be a dick? So you're not having anything. So yeah, it's a shame. It is a shame, but I don't even know how to wrap that up. Mr. T says, not surprised about this. Indie dev with a game that blew up and working crazy hours to make sure they, for the lack of a better phrase, cash in on the popularity. I mean, that's it. It is to make sure that they can make hay while the sun shines, but also to make sure that the game works while the sun shines as well. So they will have been working their ass off to make sure people have had more content. And that's the thing with people don't see that as much, that a lot of the time with indie devs, they're working to make sure that you're having the best experiences, which then leads to profit. Bigger devs usually work to make sure that their profits are maintained. Indie devs, it's usually the other way around. So you kind of feel a little bit more sorry for someone like Inner Sloth, because they're working their asses off to make sure you're enjoying the game, which if you're enjoying the game, then they'll enjoy profits, and it's all good for everyone. So they're working their asses off. They do benefit from it, but that's a secondary. They're working their asses off for you, and then you go and attack them. It's just kind of like, you're biting the hand that's feeding you, literally. I know they're feeding themselves, but yeah. And that's the thing. People think, oh, well, they're making money, so fuck it. They're entitled to, they have to put up with this shit. And no, they don't. You, whatever job you're in, you don't have to put up with shit. Just because people make you put up with shit doesn't mean that you should make anyone else put up with shit. People should just stop being shit, is the summary. I still maintain that a big reason for the search for Among Us was the release of the Henry Stickmin collection, which included a lot of references to Among Us. I don't know what that is. I think you may have mentioned that before. It kind of sounds familiar. Don't know what it is. It was one of those things, probably, if you did mention it, where it went boop, boo, in one ear out the other. Inner Sloth, I bet they take the time. Well, they did. That was the problem. These fucking assholes. God damn it. Oh, I'm joking. Yeah. Take the time. It's fine. Return of the Max, the same thing with Iron Gate and Valheim. They announced a week ago they've had to change their roadmap, but when the only thing you do to hire more people is buy a horse. What's that? Well, Iron Gate bought a horse? You're going to have to give me more information on this one, Return of the Back. I've completely missed this. Yeah, okay, there you go. I mean, do we get more community managers? Nay. Bunter inside the place. Miss C says it's not sustainable for teams of this size. Games get popular, community gets bigger, and demands more. Have to cater as best as possible. Alongside that, getting on all platforms, market that, and everything else, it's tough in big teams, let alone the small ones. Yeah, absolutely. But that's the thing, though. I mean, they've got, like, where's the level of sustainability for them on the other side of the thing? A lot of gamers don't realize that. Yeah, just get more devs. You're on PlayStation or whatever now. You're making shitloads of money, but for how long? How many people have actually spent money on playing that game? I mean, there's a lot of people that don't plow money in. Is there in-game transactions and stuff that can help them with their money? It's probably not a money spinner. So if they do hire 3 more devs, that's doubling the size of their team. That's doubling their cost output. Can they cover that sort of stuff? So and if the game is declining, not in terms of quality, but in terms of coverage, is that a risk, doubling the size of your team when you're dropping off and halving the size of your potential profits and stuff? So yeah, a lot of people don't think that way, but it is what it is. Bought a horse. Someone needs to say, hey, that's not right. Hey, Gary Clark, there he is, my main man. I mean, a lot of people could have enjoyed his pun, but I preferred mine. That's German for horse. Preferred, by the way. Okay. We were in the middle of bad punning. Are we back? Are we good? Are we live? Are we okay? It seems like we are. Nice. I can see it on the stream preview. Nice. I see you are having a mare. Way! Oh, you absolutely love to see it. Love to see it. Sorry, I should get off my high horse about these puns. Okay, there you go. Look, can we rein these puns in, says Tina. Well, and we clearly need to. Too many puns have just absolutely killed the stream just as we're about to wrap things up. But anyway, if you are still here, we appreciate you for sticking around. Despite 2 drop-offs, Sky, absolutely loving life today. You love to see it. Not. We do have links in the chat, though, from Return of the Mac. Feel free to check those out. If you want some more horseplay in your life, do you know what? We are not going to check those out now because we're going to wrap things up just so we can get things off the air without any danger of it going off again, because Bibby's already got two bits to stitch together now, let alone a third. We are going to disappear, though. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around for another episode of The Scoop. This is the first of the week. We will have 4 more coming throughout the week. We do go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.-ish on Twitch. After this, are you around for games? Are we playing games? Am I just playing games? What's the crack, babe?
We have a meeting very soon.
Yeah, just a brief Discord chat though. Yeah. After that though, what's the crack, lav?
I don't think I've got anything on later today. So yeah, I can jump on. What do you want to
play? Games.
Okay, we'll decide off stream then. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, we will jump back on with games. We do have a businessy meetings, so we will probably be a little bit longer than usual, maybe half hour, 40 minutes ish, give or take. So yeah, we'll see you in a bit. Nice. Before that though, Bib, is there anything that you'd like to add?
Yes, again, thank you very much for joining us for these now 3rd episode of The Scoop today. We very much appreciate you guys for stopping by. But yeah, if you do want to help shape our show, then there's 2 ways you can do that. First of all, find us on social media. It's at Ice Cream World across all major social media platforms, or get us on our Discord. All the information and all links that you'll need will be in the description below if you are watching this in an on-demand service. But yeah, we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
That'll be at 10 a.m. Ish. 10 a.m. ish. Just before we finish up, I need to shout these out because they're actually really good. Sky Broadband are really saddling Graham with the issues today. To be or not to be, that is the equestrian. You love it. GG's, Tito. GG's. But yes, we are going to disappear. We will be back shortly with some gameplay, so feel free to join us for that. Grab yourself some lunch in the meantime. Nice. And we will see you in a bit. Have yourselves a lovely day, though, if we don't see you back here for then. We'll see you at 10 a.m.-ish tomorrow. And remember to stay frosty.
Stay frosty.